Today, we'll explore Robert Kiyosaki's legendary book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's one of the most famous books in the world about personal finance and financial literacy. People read it whether they are just starting out in business or simply want to look at money differently and build a more secure future. Why is this book so important? Because Kiyosaki shares his personal story of growing up with two fathers, one poor, one rich. His poor dad told him to get a stable job, value a paycheck, and avoid risks. His rich dad taught him to look for opportunities, build assets, and think bigger. This difference in mindset shaped his destiny and led him to financial independence. If you don't have time to read the whole book, this video will give you all the key ideas in about 80 to 100 minutes. Instead of dry theory, we'll go through Kiyosaki's main lessons in a simple and clear way, lessons that helped him build businesses and achieve wealth. This book is especially useful for anyone tired of living paycheck to paycheck, anyone who wants to understand the difference between assets and liabilities, anyone dreaming of building wealth and freedom instead of working for someone else's goals forever. So, sit back and relax. Let's dive into one of the most powerful financial books of our time. Main part. First idea: two dads, two different views on money. Robert Kiyosaki grew up in Hawaii with two fathers. His real father was a professor, smart, well-educated, and respected in the academic world. Robert calls him his poor dad. The other was the father of his best friend Mike, a businessman with no college degree but a strong entrepreneurial mindset. This was his rich dad. Why are these two figures so important? Because they represented two completely different paths in life. Poor dad said things like, "Study hard, get good grades, and find a secure job." He believed in a steady paycheck and benefits. He thought rich people were greedy and that money often causes problems. Rich dad, on the other hand, said, "Learn how to make money work for you, not just work for money." He encouraged looking for opportunities, building assets, and creating income streams. He believed money was simply a tool, not good or evil. Robert was stuck between these two worlds. Both men were intelligent, hardworking, and honest. Yet one struggled financially all his life, while the other steadily became wealthier. The first lesson Robert learned: it's not about salary, it's about mindset. The way we think about money shapes our financial destiny. Example: you can be a teacher or doctor and still be broke because all your income goes to loans, bills, and lifestyle expenses. Or you can be an entrepreneur and, even with unstable income, gradually build wealth through assets and investments. Conclusion: Kiyosaki realized early on his future wouldn't depend on his profession, but on which father's philosophy he decided to follow. Second idea: the rich don't work for money. When Robert was a kid, he and his friend Mike wanted to get rich. At first, they even tried melting down toothpaste tubes to make fake coins. Funny enough, this led them to ask Rich Dad for real advice. Rich Dad gave them their first lesson. He let them work at his store for a very small wage. After a while, Robert got upset. "This is unfair. I'm working hard but making almost nothing." That's when Rich Dad explained, "If you're angry, that means you're learning. Most people spend their whole lives working for a paycheck. They fear losing it, and they never see the trap they're in." The key idea: the poor and middle class work for money. The rich make money work for them. Poor dad's mindset was, study, get a good job, and earn a salary. Rich dad's mindset was, don't trade your time for money. Instead, build systems or assets that earn money for you, even when you're not working. Example: one person works at a factory and earns $1,000. If he stops working, his income disappears. Another person owns a vending machine in a busy location. Whether he's sleeping, relaxing, or traveling, the machine keeps making money. That's the difference. Working for a paycheck keeps you stuck in the rat race. Endless cycles of work, bills, loans, and expenses. Building assets, on the other hand, creates freedom. Conclusion: to escape the rat race, you must shift your mindset. Don't ask, "How much will I get paid?" Instead ask, "How will this experience help me learn to manage money and create assets?" Third idea: financial literacy is more important than money. Robert Kiyosaki makes a clear point. Many people earn good money, but they still stay broke. Why? Because they don't understand how money works. The key lesson: it's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep and where you invest it. Poor Dad believed that education equals security. But Rich Dad said, true security comes from financial knowledge. The core tool of financial literacy is knowing the difference between assets and liabilities. Assets: put money into your pocket. Investments: rental properties, businesses, stocks, intellectual property. Liabilities: take money out of your pocket. Mortgages, loans, new cars, lifestyle expenses, anything that constantly costs you. Most people get this wrong. They think, my house is an asset, but the house you live in is usually a liability. It costs money for taxes, repairs, and doesn't generate income. Example: a car bought on credit is a liability. It loses value and requires insurance and maintenance. A car you rent out to a taxi company, which gives you steady monthly cash flow, is an asset. The bottom line: the rich keep getting richer because they accumulate assets. The poor and middle class stay poor because they accumulate liabilities, thinking they're assets. Conclusion: financial literacy means being able to tell the difference between assets and liabilities, and deliberately building your asset column. That's the foundation of wealth. Fourth idea: the rat race and the emotional trap. Kiyosaki uses the term rat race to describe the endless cycle of working just to pay bills, loans, and new expenses without ever reaching freedom. Why does this happen? Because people are driven by two emotions: fear and greed. Fear of losing a job and running out of money keeps people chained to a paycheck. Greed pushes them to spend their income on new cars, bigger houses, vacations, gadgets, things that give short-term pleasure but don't create wealth. Instead of controlling their emotions, people become slaves to them. They run faster in the rat race. Work more, earn more, spend more, need more money. Example: someone gets a raise and now earns double. Instead of investing, they buy a bigger house with a mortgage and a new car on credit. Now their expenses are higher, and they're even more dependent on their job. That's the rat race. Key lesson: Rich Dad said, don't let emotions control your financial decisions. Learn to think logically and stay calm. Financial freedom starts when you stop reacting to fear and greed and start seeing money as a tool. Conclusion: escaping the rat race requires more than knowledge. It requires discipline, emotional control, and the ability to delay gratification. That's the real path to wealth. Fifth idea: work to learn, not just to earn. Most people choose their jobs because they seem safe or high-paying. But Kiyosaki argues that's the wrong approach. The real value is in the skills you gain. Poor Dad told Robert, pick a stable career: doctor, lawyer, professor. That's your security. Rich Dad said, pick jobs that teach you skills, even if the pay is low. Example: Kiyosaki worked in different fields: sales, the military, management. Each role gave him skills that later helped him succeed in business. He highlights 3 critical abilities: sales and communication. Even the best product won't sell itself. Leadership and people management. Business is about people, and leadership drives growth. Financial literacy. You must understand reports, cash flow, and how money moves. The rich grow wealth not just by making money, but by turning their skills into assets and income streams. Conclusion: don't chase a high salary. Chase skills. Over time, they will make money work for you. Sixth idea: obstacles and excuses on the road to wealth. Even when people know they should build assets and learn about money, most still stay trapped. Why? Because of internal barriers. Kiyosaki highlights 5 main obstacles. Fear. People are afraid of losing money. They avoid risk and choose security, even if it means staying broke. Cynicism. Doubts kill dreams. Thoughts like, what if it doesn't work? What if it's a scam? What if the market crashes? Stop people from acting. Laziness. Not always about doing nothing. More often, it's being busy with unimportant tasks as an excuse to avoid financial education. Habits. We copy the financial patterns of our families. If your parents lived paycheck to paycheck, it's hard to think differently. Arrogance. Believing you already know everything. In reality, the rich keep learning all their lives. Example, an average person might say, investing is too risky. Rich dad would reply, ignorance is the real risk. Knowledge reduces it. The key is not to run away from fear or doubt, but to learn how to manage them. Conclusion. Every obstacle is a test. Those who are willing to learn, try, and fail move ahead. Those who let fear and excuses win stay stuck in the rat race. Seventh idea, take action steps toward wealth. Kiyosaki insists, knowledge alone won't change your life. The key is action. Many people read books, attend seminars, but never apply what they learn, and nothing changes. To transform your finances, you must take the first steps. Rich Dad's advice was simple. Define your why. Ask yourself, why do you want money? For freedom? For family? For travel? A clear purpose gives energy and focus. Choose what to learn. Collect skills that matter: finance, investing, sales, leadership. Even if a job is temporary, take the skill with you. Start small. You don't need to buy a huge property right away. Begin with small investments, learning the stock market, or starting a small side business. Look for opportunities. Most people say, I can't afford it. Rich Dad taught, ask instead, how can I afford it? That question changes your mindset. Act even when afraid. Waiting for the perfect moment means you'll never act. Real experience only comes from doing. Example, Kiyosaki shared how his very first investment project was small, but it gave him the confidence and lessons he needed for bigger opportunities. The key is to begin. While you hesitate, others are already trying, failing, and growing. Conclusion. Financial freedom doesn't start with $1 million. It starts with the first step and the right mindset. Additional insights and tips from Robert Kiyosaki. After all the lessons and stories, Kiyosaki emphasizes that wealth is the result of mindset, discipline, and action. He shares practical tips to apply the principles in real life. 1. Work harder on yourself than on your job. Most people think career is everything. Kiyosaki says, personal growth matters more. If you grow in skills and mindset, money will follow. 2. Your circle shapes your wealth. If your friends always complain, say it's impossible or everything is rigged, you'll think the same way. Rich people surround themselves with those who look for opportunities, not excuses. 3. Money loves speed. Ideas are worthless without action. When an opportunity shows up, move fast. Don't keep waiting for someday. 4. Use the power of taxes and corporations. The rich not only make more money, they keep more. Businesses and investments allow them to legally reduce taxes and reinvest their income. 5. Make money your soldier. Every dollar you invest should go to work for you and bring back more soldiers. More dollars. That's how wealth snowballs. 6. Don't fear mistakes. Mistakes are lessons. The poor avoid failure while the rich learn from every setback. Overall, Kiyosaki says, wealth is a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned if you treat money as a tool and keep building your asset column while reducing liabilities. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad is not just about money. It's about mindset. It teaches you to see the world not as an employee waiting for a paycheck, but as someone who builds assets and creates financial freedom. The core message: it's not about how much you earn. It's about what you learn, what skills you build, and what assets you create. We all have a choice. Stay stuck in the rat race, working, spending, fearing, depending on a paycheck, or step out of the cycle and build wealth that works for us. Kiyosaki reminds us, the rich are not different because of money. They are different because of mindset, and mindset can be changed. So here's the question for you. Which idea from this book will you start applying tomorrow? Drop it in the comments. It will help you commit and take action. Thank you for watching this breakdown. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more powerful book summaries that can shift your thinking and transform your life.